So this is a planter that is designed to hang on a wall. So I've created a base that functions and is able to hold the weight of a whole planter with cement and soil inside of it. So first I had cut the shape out of this back base, and it's 2 layers, one with a strong, larger metal mesh and one with a smaller metal mesh. And the second thing I did was create this half basin on the bottom. So I started the shape by putting basically a piece like this to create the top, then a piece along the bottom, doing the angles, putting the small mesh on top of these strips, and it's very, very strong. So this will actually hold and maintain its shape when I put the cement on. We also have reinforcement bars, so I've secured it and fastened it with little metal wires. And these, you gotta make sure they're not gonna move at all. Very important in each of my planters that I put a tube to allow the water to drain and to allow the soil to get oxygen so that the plants don't rot. So now I'm going to put my first layer of cement on the metal frame that I've created for the planter. I first have drawn a stencil of basically where I want to put my cement. So I'm going to remove this and put the cement directly onto my cover here, which is plastic, and it will not stick. And I press it in, so that way I don't have to fuss around and worry about doing the back. And once that is done, then I can pour a layer onto the rest of the back. Make sure all the metal bits are covered. You don't want any of this metal mesh exposed, because when it's exposed to air and the water and the cement, it will rust. I really love this shape. Actually, once you get the cement on it, you can see the forms come to life a little bit better. And really, you can make any shape that you want. Okay, so now that the metal structure has been covered completely in cement, the front faces, I will wait a couple days until I move the structure in case I don't want it to break, basically. And then I can move it in a good spot so I can do the inside of the bowl. So now that our first layer is dry, I'm ready to apply my second layer. This layer, I'm going to want it to be smooth so I can apply my details. So once the second layer is dry, I'm going to use a little piece of foam here, and I'm going to wet it and use it to smooth out the lines and the consistency of what I have here. So to see if your cement mixture is dry, you just give it a little touch. If you don't see a print in it, it's good to smooth. Smooth. It's good to smooth. As you can see, the shape of this planter is forming, and it is nice and smooth. Okay, so I've waited a day and my second coat is dry, and now I can start my favorite part, which is the details. For my details, I like to make a more cementy mix, so I kind of swap the ratios, 2 cement to 1 sand. I start with putting my milkshake on, which is my water cement mix. I put my cement in the basic form that I want my detail to be in, and then as it dries, I start to shape it with my little spatula here. Once it's basically dry and I have a form that I'm happy with, I brush it with a dry brush to smooth it out. If it's too dry by that time, it'll be tough to smooth it out, so you can add a little bit of water and brush it gently. And as it continues to dry, remember to put water on with a spray bottle or a light brush or dab, otherwise your cement detail will crack. Hello!
Hey, what's that, Ellie?
So this right here is the base metal that I have created for my little figurine for my planter. So this little girl, she's going to be sitting on the edge of the planter when it's upright, and she's going to be sitting there, and she's going to be the foundation of the story that I've created for my planter. How I managed to make such a beautiful painting is I start with base colors, darker colors of say this flower. I would start with a darker purple and then work my way up, and I can also add darker shadings and lines around, and I build myself up. And I experiment, basically. I experiment with what I'm feeling and what looks beautiful. And I make mistakes, but you can always paint over. So that's the beauty of paint. Just experiment and have fun and make things as beautiful as you want. I never believed that I could create something like this, but I created a vision for myself, and step by step I made it happen. So just know that you can make beautiful things too.
Check out the top left video to see our instructional video series. Check out our Umbala documentary by clicking the video to the bottom left. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, click the little bell next to the subscribe button and then hit all.